Sagittarius, this is actually a pretty awesome energy kind of week for you. We're going to get into it, but there's a lot of energy shifting into Aries over this week. So into the beginning of next week, a lot of energy shifting into Aries. And what that means is it is going to eventually be trine to your natal suns. We'll get into why, we'll get into how, and why that is actually such wonderful news. Sagittarius, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries Tarot. My name is Michelle. Thank you guys so much for finding my videos. This is for Sagittarius Sun because it is based on the placement of the sun. If you are really clever with astrology and you know that your sun is at 0 degrees, that your ascendant is at 0 degrees or at 5 degrees Sagittarius, then you can say yes, then your ascendant would be sextile to a specific planet. But the sextile energy wouldn't be the same because a sun sextile Pluto is not the same as an ascendant sextile Pluto. So it's different energy. You'd have to plug in a lot. From my perspective, I am taking this as the sun sign. I'm taking it by the estimate of where your sun is and what aspects or planetary transits are going to have the most impact on your natal sun this week. I'm going to divide this up into three decans, so 3 groups of 10, right? Each 10 degrees. Between 0 and 10 degrees, that's Sagittarius 1. Between 10 and 20 degrees, that's Sagittarius 2. And between 20 and 30 degrees, that's Sagittarius 3. Sagittarius 1, your birthday is probably November Sagittarius. It's like November, say 22nd through the 1st of December. And then the second decan Sagittarius could be up to the 2nd of December. Second decan is usually the 2nd of December through the 12th. And then you have a third decan, you Christmas time Sagittarians. Actually, no, Christmas time is in Capricorn. So that would be between the 12th and the 10th. If you're on the cusp of any of those, or if any of these transits are impacting the cusp, which they are, I will definitely tell you. But this week, let's start really general with Jupiter, because Jupiter and what Jupiter is doing is going to impact you all. Jupiter is your ruling dignitary. And please do leave the comments below if you know who the ruling dignitary of your decan is, because you do have a sub-ruler. Each decan has its own ruler. I know, cool stuff, right? It's easy. You could just Google it. But Jupiter is going to impact you all. And Jupiter is still very much conjunct Chiron in Aries, which is directly trine to Sagittarius 2s. You guys are definitely going to be experiencing the positive uptick of expansion and growth through, or helping other people expand and grow through what you have learned through your pain, your suffering, and your struggles. However, something even better happens this week because Jupiter now kind of slides over Chiron. It goes to a higher degree of Aries. Chiron will remain at 14 degrees Aries, and by the end of this week, and by the way, this is from March 10th through March 14th through the 20th is what this covers, though we'll get it a little into the 21st as well. But March 14th through the 20th is when this video covers. So Sagittarius 2s, you are in direct trine to Jupiter conjunct Chiron, but Jupiter and Chiron were at the beginning of this week in perfect conjunction at 14 degrees Aries. But by the end of the week, Jupiter will be at 16 degrees. They are still conjunct, absolutely. But because Jupiter is now at a higher degree, there's a sense of it actually tugging and pulling and having more like soaking up more of the energy. I see this as sort of the big turnaround when you actually are able to turn the corner, and it goes from just trying to grow from your pain and suffering to actually starting to see some benefit that comes out of what you've learned through your hardships. So that's a real turning the corner kind of moment for you guys especially. But I think everyone at large who's influenced or impacted by Jupiter, this is sort of the light that is starting to glimmer at the end of the tunnel. You're starting to see that the pain is getting you somewhere, right? The struggle or the challenges are getting us somewhere. It's not the huge breakthrough moment, but at least it's not just hope. It's actually indicators that there are They're the struggling, the challenging times we're coming onto the other side of it. Now let's get into specifics. Those of you, Pisces is generally square, right? It's traditionally square to everything Sagittarius, just like everything in Gemini is traditionally in opposition, just like everything in Virgo is traditionally square. You don't have any planets in Virgo right now, and you have one planet in Gemini, and that one planet in Gemini, directly opposite to Sagittarius 3s, is Mars. So Sagittarius 3s with your natal sun, and it's been this way for a while, so this isn't new energy. So you guys have been probably dealing with pop-offishness, argumentativeness. That's what happens when Mars squares your natal sun. And I'm sorry, not Mars opposes your natal sun. And because Mars is in Gemini, this has probably been like verbal quarrels, verbal clashes. Maybe not explosive, especially since the energy's been around for a while, but it's definitely going to be something you want to be aware of. Know that you'll be a little bit more pugilistic when it comes to the conversations that you have, and knowing that might actually help you be aware of that, or draw awareness to it, because you may not even be aware of it right now, but definitely it's happening. So just be aware of that, because if people have been reacting more negatively to you, it could be because of this sort of more pugilistic, combative, or intrusive way of talking. Now, Sagittarius have a reputation for just being off the cusp with whatever they say anyway, but this would definitely be more aggressive, or argumentative. It would kind of make you feel more, I would say, negative. So just take note of that. Have you been feeling more negativity towards specific people because you've been butting heads? That's the conflict that you want to be made aware of, so the awareness can bring you a little bit of insight into maybe taking a breath before you speak, or realizing that you don't really have to say anything at all. Something like that, to help avoid those conflicts or contentious run-ins. It is Sagittarius ones that are getting a lot of action right now. Now, Sagittarius ones, you are November Sagittarius is primarily. It is those of you who are on the cusp of Scorpio, really close to the beginning, that are right now, even though it's in Pisces, there's a conjunction that's happening in Pisces at the last 5 degrees of Pisces, which is Neptune conjunct the Sun conjunct to Mercury. And the reason why this is so significant is, even though Neptune is staying in place, the Sun and Mercury are moving past. And by the end of this week, by the 20th, the Sun, Mercury by the 18th, I think, will have transited into Aries. And then by the 20th, the Sun transits into Aries. And then the new moon is on the 21st, because the moon follows the Sun into Aries, and that's when the new moon happens. So there's a lot of energy transiting into Aries, which is in a natural trine to you guys. But you guys at the very beginning of Aries season, say November 22nd, maybe 23rd, birthdays, are already trine loosely to this conjunction that's happening, which is very, very creative, almost like creativity on crack, a sense of really your brain just exploding with a lot of inspiration and creativity. Use it, and use the fact that Mercury's there to help you articulate it and really be able to make sense of some things that maybe didn't make much sense before, or create or innovate really new kind of awesome ideas. This is a great time for broadening and expanding your abilities, really, and your talents or gifts really coming to the surface. So it's really beautiful energy, and it's going to stay with you and get stronger and impact more of you Sagittarius ones after the Sun and Mercury, and then the Sun has dropped into into Sagittarius. So later on this week, it'll be more impactful to all of you, and you'll feel that trine. When Mercury is conjunct the Sun, it's really bright and confident speech, bright, confident talk, bright confidence in what you think and what you feel, and even just continued creativity, but to be able to articulate it and are great, like good good, strong communications coming through for you guys. So that's really helpful energy for you. You also have a square to Saturn. Yes, because Saturn is in the beginning, it's at 0 degrees Pisces. And so those of you in Sagittarius, early Sagittarius season are in your natal sun is naturally square to Saturn. So that could be just a lot of rules, laws, and regulation, causing some heat, breathing down your throat, causing challenges. It's challenges that are going to help you be educated more, learn more, understand more. These are challenges. If you meet these challenges, they will definitely release a whole bunch of energy toward progress for you. But for now, I think it's mostly rules are changing, or they're confusing, or you can't get a straight answer out of somebody who runs the show or is supposed to be there for guiding you, and they're not. Their answers are ambiguous, or you're not getting through to them. So that's going to cause some headbutting this week. There is a new moon that your natal sun is going to be trying to. So around the 21st, this is really 20th, 21st, and 22nd, which is going into the week after. But it starts in this week. Really beautiful energy with that new moon coming, because you're going to be trying, Sagittarius ones are going to be trying that energy. And that's just especially really early November, really early Sagittarians, like I said, between November, like 20, maybe 22nd, 24th type of energy. It's going to be a really, really beautiful new moon. It's going to be harmonious to how you feel and how vital you feel and how much energy you have, how much vitality you have, since all this energy is going to be in Aries. So taking initiative, starting new things, or getting a slate wiped clean. This is going to be an especially powerful new moon for you to manifest on. So please do use those manifestations, any kind of manifestation technique with fire to help you release energy into the air. It'll really get things started off very strong for you. But if you do use fire, or action or activity, you can use like kundalini fire, like fire from the inside of you, not real fire, but definitely like making manifestations as you dance, or dancing to like build up that heat within you to help manifestations, or even like passionate song or singing can be used around this time. So take that into consideration, Sagittarius ones, because it's going to be a very powerful new moon for you to manifest under. You guys are also sextile to Pluto. Now, Pluto is at the very end degrees of Capricorn. And so it is at 29 degrees Capricorn. It's not fully into Aquarius yet, which you would have a natural sextile to. But for you, early, or you would be in a natural sextile to Aquarius, to Pluto, which means that you are getting things done, and you are taking initiative, and you are ready for change, and almost a sense of no matter what it takes, you're going to get it done, and you're going to make progress out of the situation. So that energy has actually been helping you for quite some time, and will continue to help you for quite some time, and maybe even endings themselves will open up opportunities for you. So that puts you in a very particularly lucky position, dealing with toxicities, getting after those things, getting a handle of them. If you've been eating too much, not exercising enough, doing something that's unhealthy for you, it is especially a good time for you guys to address those issues, and you'll be able to make a lot of progress with getting them under control. Excuse me. Sagittarius 2s. So for those of you who are like between December 2nd and December 12th, your natal suns are naturally trine to Jupiter conjunct Chiron. And we already kind of talked about that a little bit, where it's kind of turning its corner now and becoming more advantageous, or more less pain and more productivity because of the pain, like seeing why I went through what I did, and starting to realize how it now can be useful either to yourself or especially to others with Chiron involved. But there's also a quincunx. A quincunx is about a 150-degree angle to Uranus, and Uranus is in the middle of Taurus. And what does that mean? There's some tension around things that are constantly surprising you, curveballs that are constantly striking. It's not going to end you, but it is going to frustrate you. So do yourself a favor, Sagittarius 2s, and expect the unexpected. Make room for it. Like, make that a variable in all your equations. Like, there's going to be curveballs here. No, you can't know what's coming, so don't try to anticipate it, but don't take it personally. Those kind of things are just going to keep happening to you. For right now, yeah, because Uranus doesn't move that quickly, and it's kind of been in full effect for a while, so you may not even be noticing it anymore, to be honest with you. Sagittarius 3s. So those of you who are especially born toward Capricorn season, but those of you who are born like December 13th and on, especially, maybe December 12th, you guys are sextile to Saturn, which is a wonderful position. Like, there's so much productivity, so much being able to get things done, being able to take strides forward, even with rules, laws, and regulations, being able to take them and use them to your advantage, or having full support of authority figures or anybody who's in charge of things, being able to communicate well with them, just being offered opportunities through that Saturnian energy, even in a sense, an opportunity to grow, to mature in your own life. So this is really awesome energy. It's you guys that are in direct opposition to Mars, which means that even though Saturn is on your side, there's pop-offishness about you. We talked about that a little bit earlier. So there's a sense of, yes, be strong and powerful, especially how you communicate with people, but take a breath, take 10 seconds to see how you're doing it. Also, in terms of taking action, there could be impulsivity. So because people are willing, like you got that opportunity, those opportunities through Saturn, you might be inclined to rush into something too quickly. You still want to read the bottom line. You definitely still want to hear everything out, and but there is a sense of progress, move forward, take action. Now Venus, I mentioned her with you guys. Venus moves into Taurus on Thursday. How does this impact you? Well, Venus is now at the very end of Aries season, which would put her in a natural trine. Aries domicile. So she's at the very end right now, and up on Thursday she moves into Taurus. But for those of you born at the very end of Sagittarius season, so closer to that Capricorn cusp, it's you guys especially who are trine to Venus right now. So there's actually a lot of harmony between you and your loved ones, and financial activity, financial harmony is really something that you can be very productive with right now. Even when she moves into Taurus, and especially when she moves into Taurus, that's when financial harmony, or you'll start to be able to balance out the checkbook a little bit better, or it's a good time to ask for a raise or get bonuses, something with sort of tranquility, especially when it comes to value systems, how you value, what you value, finances working out really nice for you. It could also be a time of a little increased overindulgence, because when Venus goes home, she likes to eat, she likes to overindulge in sensual pleasures. So sexuality, that would be very nice. That'll be very romantic energy. Sensuality with your body, but also it could be overspending and overeating because you're so comfortable. So especially after Thursday, watch with the overspending and over luxuriating in things. Definitely enjoy them. Absolutely, but trines can kind of sometimes make you lazy. And just so that you guys know, especially, you'll be especially slack when it comes to how many calories you're putting in your mouth or how much money that you're spending. You just be overindulging and you have a great time, but the bank book might suffer later. So just be aware of it, and you'll actually be able to keep it under control so that you'll just enjoy it and it won't hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I love trines are beautiful energy. It's just sometimes they make us too lackadaisical, and we'll be like, oh, did I just spend my rent money? Oh, you know, that kind of thing. So you guys, especially on that Capricorn cusp, be particularly aware of that being maybe overindulgent. But for those of you, I would say, especially from like the 16th on, you can enjoy this energy. There's kind of a sensuality to a trine to Venus, between Venus and the sun, where there's romance. It's a good time to be romantic, but you don't have to be romantic by spending the bank book, right? You don't have to take somebody out for $1,000 dinner. You can take them out for a $40 picnic in the park with just the two of you sitting in the like, be romantic, really be romantic. And when you are really romantic, you don't have to spend a lot of money at all. Use your creativity. Creativity is something that's going to be very high on the charts for you this week. Now, toward the since Venus toward the end of Aries is trine, those of you who are at the very end of Aries, you're gonna be square to the energy entering Aries as it enters Aries just for the first few days. So this this new moon for you might cause some chaos, not chaos, but might show you some challenges when it comes to maybe challenges to your creativity, or challenges to somebody else's creativity or somebody else's dreams. Like somehow that drumming up a sense of confidence, butting heads with somebody else's confidence. Just an FYI, especially around that new moon, there is an energy of that square that's building around that new moon for you. So it's a great time to face challenges around that new moon, so you can release that energy and really make a lot of progress for yourselves. The energy would be probably around Aries, happening in Aries. So that has to do with taking initiative, starting things, as well as your physical self and your physical body. So if there have been some sort of tension for you guys, late Sagittarius 3s, for you guys when it comes to any of those, taking initiative, especially with the opposition to Mars, that challenge over the new moon could be could be very frustrating for you. So FYI, that could be a time to first find a release for your energies, and then make sure your head is clear before you manifest. Because if you're impulsive with what you decide to manifest, you could get something that's not as important to you as it was because of your impulsivity during that time. So that's an FYI. I love you guys like crazy. I think you're awesome. Please be sure to like this video and then subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you know when I upload your favorite content. Sagittarius content comes out every single Tuesday, and I hope to see you back here and in the Sagittarius tarot card reading over on Born Without Boundaries Tarot. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the videos.